From the banks of the Allegheny, welcome to Film Bits. All right, so this final episode starts off with Rust and Marty at the state police barracks. Here we go.
The other landlord says she trashed the place, so she lost her deposit. And her neighbor's checkout. Those that remember her said that she used to come in early in the morning, if she came home at all.
Oh, thanks.
You guys canvassed the bars pretty good today?
What Russ just said was, you guys canvassed the bars pretty good today, meaning they were supposed to be out helping question people, but instead they just stopped off and had drinks.
Up your ass, Cole. Why don't you do your own fucking legwork, you rat fuck?
Say it again, Rummy.
Hey. You know what, man? Fuck you, taxman.
Cole said, say it again, Rummy.
Fuck.
Back to point. Had 3 hits on working girls. No one close to her, naturally. Few names recognized her as occasional.
Like she tricked now and then, show up a couple of truck stops when she needed cash. You got some names. Which ones?
I heard from my AP guy, Marie Fontenot. Said her uncle's Danny Fontenot, pitcher, LSU.
Yeah, I watched him play. Great player.
He lives close by.
Well, thanks, guys. What about you two? Did you get anything today?
Not much, sir.
Well, you might know the Reverend Tuttle. He runs our statewide charity drive. This is Detective Hart, Detective Cole.
Very good to meet you, officers. Your case has a lot of people taking care. Doors locking where they used to not. And
The Reverend Tuttle.
very concerned.
We've been discussing the viability of a task force to investigate crimes with an anti-Christian connotation.
You what? Really?
Yes. I don't need to tell men of your positions, but there is a war happening behind things. Thank you for doing your part.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Eddie's gonna be very, very pleased to have such good men working on this.
You kidding me?
Fucking believable. Anti-Christian. You fucks. And who the fuck's Eddie? Huh?
Is he serious?
Well, he doesn't have a television.
Who's Eddie?
And he's from Texas. He's the fucking governor, Edwin Tuttle. They're first cousins.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the sound of the big machine, Cole. It's gearing up to pound your ass.
The sound of a gaggle of hens.
Now you better watch your mouth or they're gonna peck your eyes out.
Interesting reaction from Marty.
George slept and told me to make sure and give them to Detective Hart and no one else.
Is that the,
The depositions. I thought I should walk you through them.
oh, great. Let's just find a place to talk. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Pays attention. This is a song called Signs of the Judgment, which we'll hear in various versions throughout the show. They're now going to visit Danny Fontenot, the uncle of the little girl that went missing.
Your victim was Dora Lang. But you all checked on Marie Fontenot. Why? Missing girl, 5 years gone. Report made in error.
She had an uncle who lived nearby. And we'll call it intuition.
Sometimes he's more responsive. I'd like to help.
Mr. Fontenot, we met maybe 7 years ago. I was visiting Skip Hayes. I played for USL. A thing of beauty, sir, watching you throw.
Danny, this man's a detective with the police.
Talk to me like a child.
I'm actually sorry. We wanted to ask you about your niece, Marie.
How much could you put on one family? I asked the Lord. We try to get by.
Did you know Marie's birth father?
Lynn Strokes was her daddy.
We're asking because we had heard that Marie ran off with him and she wasn't really missing.
That's what Debbie said.
Oh. Anybody heard from Lynn? Anybody maybe knows where he's at? Sorry, last thing. Do you know where Debbie is now?
She married another man.
This is a point of view shot for Rust.
She was in Vegas last we heard.
By the way, crucifix was on the wall where Rust was standing. They keep popping up all over the place, and you know the law enforcement thinks that this was a Satan worshiping act, the death of Dora Lang.
Marie must have loved it here.
Yeah,
All this for her.
Danny loved her so much. We weren't her legal guardians, but she played here all the time. More than her mama's.
Let's see why. What is it Dan has, if you don't mind my asking?
All they ever told us.
Again, Rust kind of being the artist, the thinker. Marty doing the nuts and bolts kind of work. Rust followed his gut, found something.
Inside on the floor on the right.
Love use of the camera here. Oh yeah. Hello.
I don't know what that is. I haven't looked in there since the police first came.
So now we have a connection to Marie Fontenot's disappearance and Dora Lang's death.
Bet you want to hear the hero shout, huh? A place we carried the kids out.
Eventually, sure.
Carried the kids out.
So what does she look like? That one in Lake Charles.
Can you tell us anything about that, Mr. Cole?
Yeah, it looks a lot like the one from 95, but... Well, you knew that already.
Yeah, there's specifics consistent to the 95 case. Details that weren't public knowledge.
You were off the grid for 8 years, right? Show back up here 2010.
My question is...
How could it be him? If we already caught him in 95. How indeed, detectives?
I figured you'd be the one to know.
Methodical.
Didn't start asking the right fucking questions.
And a great note to leave episode 1 on. All right, let's do a recap, and then the next time you hear this voice, we'll be in the episode 2, part 1. So let's make sure we're clear on all the facts of episode 1, The Long Bright Dark. Dora Lang was killed in 1995 in a cane field in Erath. She was a prostitute that had been missing for some time. In addition to that, Rust and Cole uncover the disappearance of a young girl named Marie Fontenot in 1995 while they're interviewing people in Erath. She was 10 years old and she went missing around 1990. The mother filed a report but never followed up, and it's possible the report was made in error. And it's believed by the local police that she ran off with her biological father. In addition, the modern-day police officers, Papania and Gilbaugh, Papania is the one without hair, Gilbaugh has hair, have a murder of their own, the Lake Charles murder, and it bears a striking resemblance to the murder of Dora Lang. It shares details that were not public knowledge. So the murder of the Lake Charles victim has similar details to Dora Lang's murder that was never made public. And files pertaining to Dora Lang's murder were lost in Hurricane Rita, which is why Papania and Gilbaugh need to interview Marty and Rust in 2012.